thank you all for coming to listen, to help celebrate Coach House's 50th. It's an amazing thing. It's been an amazing institution for so many years in Canada, and it's only getting better year by year, it seems. And it's an honor to do this most recent book with them. I'm going to read from a book called On Malice. The book itself, well, I should first say, it's the first time I had worked in extended form, longer poems and longer poems that then stitched into a book that was all more or less obsessed with the same notions of surveillance, totalized surveillance, corporate and state, and even at the personal and interpersonal and internal level. So I'm going to read from the first long poem in the book. It's called Sigint, the military acronym for Signals Intelligence, and just a few things about the poem. It's 39 sonnets, and they occur, more or less, they occur on the summit of a mountain, a hill in Berlin called Teufelsberg, Devil's Mountain. Berlin is a flat city built on a flat plain. The Allies, post-World War II, had to choose a few spots to bulldoze, to pile the rubble of Berlin onto. And so Teufelsberg, it was an unfinished Nazi officers' college that Albert Speer had designed, and they couldn't destroy it, so they just chose it as a spot for the rubble of Berlin. And so man-made mountain that then grew over beautiful parkland now, well, even just some years after they created the mountain, it grew over paths, trees, pastoral kind of space. And then the NSA in 1961 placed the largest surveillance station of the Cold War on the summit. So it was pointed eastward, taking in all the telephonic, telephonic, and satellite communications from the east. And so the first, so this first poem is from a time when we could sort of partly conceptualize, assimilate this notion of surveillance because of this Cold War binary. We understood that our satellites had to be pointed over there and spying on the enemy. Anyway, the wall comes down, 91, the NSA just ups and leaves, and they just left this surveillance station at the summit of Teufelsberg. So it's now fenced off, but the Germans, being German, they cut through the fence and go in and party and have sex and whatnot in this abandoned surveillance station. And so this derelict, abandoned surveillance station, it looks like a religious structure of some kind. It looks like it could be a church or a synagogue. And so the voice is coming from there, and the language comes from Walter Benjamin as his son was acquiring language between the ages of 2 and 6. Benjamin was writing down a lot of what he found interesting about what his young son was saying. And so I restricted myself to the language of Benjamin's son as recorded by or surveilled or by Benjamin himself. And then at the Volta, I take over, try to stay in voice, and you'll hear at the end of each, instead of a couplet, where the rhyming couplet should be, there's an incident report, and they are reports of the common Swift colliding with light aircraft in what would have then been Soviet airspace. And it begins in Siberia and travels westward toward Berlin. I will now shut up and read a few of the sonnets. 11 years of green bread, still nobody, dear Lord, isn't oneself, but thank you. Isn't that right? Give them a picture of no bread, a mean flower, more bush than the love in their heads, a picture of will separated from matter and head stuff. The grain being flensed, combed out, rehashed. Chestnut? Beech? A severe grade. The cobbles and brick fragments boiling through topsoil. Night hikes up here and chases out shreds. Finnish wind. A fragile lantern tarp rags are whipping at. Kemerovo, August 28th, 1978, at 15:30, altitude 3,900 meters. A girl said I should eat. Well, am I such a coward inside? Regarding winter, other children bit you. You were after interests. Inside, one knows everything, but how does the house see? It is totally unwindowed. The rustling in the approach as the wing lights climb. I distinguish that from those without reason, so count on old rivets, voltage, then fall back into shadow. How does she know everything to be unwindowed? Reported at 15:04, July 4th, 1978, shortly before landing at Kolpashevo. You finish reading it. You cannot finish reading it. Ice caught in the can, later the well. What shall I be worried about? The coward well and the ice does such a lot. They know nothing of cantilevered, blown-out shells who feed their worry like beetle barns. The dome's aerial, my lodestar and icon. The squirrel at dusk in the post-informational gloaming can never not finish reading it as song. July 9th, 1979, 1450, in clear conditions southeast of Kovalin. Your little lamp, for example, on the mountain sleeping all night. I have to think about it or pull it out of my head. For example, a clown goes over my face with his claws. I have seen poorly for so long, raking the overgrowth at the perimeter fence, metal filing shelves lashed to the chain-link gaps. It kept the West out of the West's mind. It kept the Lord out of your dress for a time. Incident in July at Magnitogorsk at an unknown altitude. Because I am sleeping in love's room now, the moment will have received a promise to wait. The mountain will finally be rid of the town. Wait a bit, and the mountain you have not seen goes over your face. The singing upgrades to ice crystals of Saturn's rings, raking the outer hull. Hello, thing. The geodesic temple and your dress in your mouth, signaling to the western squirrel at the gap. Summer 1980, incident at 12:30, nearing 4,000 meters, Nizhny Angarsk. Be rid of the face in the room now. Sweet clown, they promise and do not do it. They can't pull it out. Go think about it. Kisses received from here in the mountain, with him gone, are as slurry in a gallon pail, are a thin suspension ferried southeast into the town from the summit in a spirit of devotional commerce and labor. The material rips from the frame, straight pins of stars in the blanked vector lines. July 24th, 1981, near Novokuznetsk, midday, little to no damage. Don't. You undo the good behavior all the time. Don't undo the good behavior all the time. Wonderful ultra. It is not broken. It is still hanging there. Big monkey not going more in my mouth. Not the beach only, but the sea behind it, and behind that its hail minions and the monstrous canyons of chance. It all begins to swim forward. I lie with the dead lord, the anus constricts, I cover us both with your dress. Noon, July 28, 1981, approaching Novosibirsk from the south, altitude unknown. The fairgrounds screamed. The mountains and valley were gone. The fire was gone too. The hanging because was gone too. The men were away and my heart already dead, and the fairground monkey dead in my mouth. With the public laboratory already built, I went ahead and broke ground on the secret lavatory. From the moon hung a chain flush, its handle grip blazed bone, and the fairground screams went out over low frequencies. July 29th, 1982, at 11:35, descending into Novi Urengoy in wind. Please come here. Please. I played with a dream in a mirror and many, many thousands of birds, which are not real, are not here. I don't like it here anymore. Good people don't open doors on the present. I can't see how this same trail descends. Please come at least halfway, and I'll fall down into the laws of the present, into fungal infections and coital cephalgia, which is constant surveillance. At 10:41, June 7th, 1984, during routine descent into Orsk.